Dr. Lazarus Chakwera, the President of the Republic of Malawi. He was born in the rural outskirts of Lilongwe, the capital city of Malawi on April 5, 1955 and is married to Monica. Together, they have 4 children and 14 grandchildren. Previously, Dr. Chakwera was president of the Malawi Assemblies of God for 24 years before he took everyone by surprise and announced his decision to leave the pastorate and enter frontline politics. He contested in the 2014 general elections as a presidential candidate for Malawi Congress Party, coming second in the presidential race while winning a parliamentary seat and becoming the leader of opposition in the National Assembly. He served as leader of opposition until February 2019 when he submitted his nomination papers to the Electoral Commission for the second time to run president in May of that year. But before any results were announced, Dr. Chakwera blew the whistle and exposed nationwide incidents of electoral irregularities, including the Electoral Commission's widespread use of correction fluid on results sheets to doctor the results. When the Electoral Commission refused to address the anomalies and proceeded to announce the results, Dr. Chakwera filed a petition to the High Court to challenge the constitutionality of the election and the credibility of the result. In an historic ruling on February 3, 2020, the Constitutional Court agreed with Dr. Chakwera and ordered that a fresh poll be held. That poll took place in June 2020, under the oversight of a newly constituted Electoral Commission, and Dr. Chakwera won with 58.6% of the vote, becoming the first opposition leader in the world to successfully challenge an election in court and also go on to win the resulting fresh election. He was sworn into office as the 6th President of Malawi on June 28, 2020. Dr. Chakwera holds a Bachelor of Arts, Philosophy, degree from the University of Malawi, an honors degree from the University of the North in South Africa, a master's degree from the University of South Africa, a doctorate from Trinity International University in Illinois, USA, and a professorship from the Pan-Africa Theological Seminary, PATHS. President Chakwera's philosophy of governance is anchored on 5 pillars called the Chakwera Super High Five, namely servant leadership, uniting Malawians, prospering together, ending corruption, and rule of law. As president, he has stated that his developmental priorities are the achievement of food security, wealth creation, and job creation as a foundation for the attainment of Malawi's aspiration to middle income and self-reliant status by 2030 as enshrined in the Malawi 2063 vision, which seeks to leverage Malawi's economic potential in agriculture, tourism, and mining to drive Malawi's industrialization, urbanization, modernization, and digitalization. On the global stage, President Chakwera has served as chair of the Southern Africa Development Community, SADC, comprising of 16 member states, as well as chair of the 46-member bloc of least developed countries, LDCs, at the United Nations. He is a strong, eloquent, and sought-after proponent and advocate for climate justice, debt relief, fair trade, anti-corruption policies, and multilateral institutional reforms for the creation of a level playing field for developing and vulnerable countries. Lazarus McCarthy Chakwera, a Malawian politician, theologian, and pastor who has been the 6th President of Malawi since 2020. A member of the Malawi Congress Party, MCP, he has been the party's president since 2013. He also served as president of the Malawian Assemblies of God from 1989 to 2013. Previously, Chakwera was the leader of the opposition in the National Assembly following highly controversial elections held on May 21, 2019 which were overturned by the Constitutional Court. He was appointed chairman of SADC on August 17 at the SADC 41st Annual Summit held on August 9 to August 19, 2021 in Lilongwe, Malawi. Chakwera ran for re-election as president in the 2025 elections, but lost to his predecessor, Peter Mutharika, whom he had defeated in the 2020 rerun of the 2019 general election. Lazarus Chakwera was born in Malombo, Lilongwe, near the capital city of Malawi, on April 5, 1955 while the country was still under British colonial rule. His father was a primary school teacher and supplemented his family's income through subsistence farming. Lazarus married Mutharika Chakwera on October 8, 1977, and they have 4 children, 1 son and 3 daughters. Chakwera graduated with a Bachelor of Arts, Philosophy, degree from the University of Malawi in 1977. He studied theology and gained an honors degree from the University of the North in South Africa and gained a master's degree, MTH, from the University of South Africa in 1991. Trinity International University in the United States awarded him a doctorate, D.Min, in 2000. He became a professor at the Pan-Africa Theological Seminary in 2005. He worked as an instructor at the Assemblies of God School of Theology from 1983 to 2000, where he became the principal in 1996. He has been the co-director and a lecturer at All Nations Theological Seminary. From 1989 to 2013 he presided over the Malawi Assemblies of God. On April 14, 2013 he took many by surprise when he declared his intentions to run at a convention of the opposition Malawi Congress Party, MCP, as president while still maintaining the Assemblies of God presidency. Rumors of Chakwera's intention to run in the MCP's presidential race were first reported in online media on April 9, 2013. They were confirmed on April 14, 2013. Chakwera later submitted his nomination papers while still at the helm of the Malawi Assemblies of God. The MCP convention slated for April 27, 2013 was later postponed to 10 and August 11, where he was elected as the president of MCP and he represented the party in the 2014 general elections. During 2014 Malawi general elections, rumors speculated in different platforms that the elections were rigged. Chakwera told all Malawians to remain peaceful, accept the outcome, and wait for the next coming elections. Besides being successful as the main opposition party president, he also served as a member of parliament for the Lilongwe Northwest constituency. Chakwera announced his resignation as the head of the Malawian Assemblies of God, effective May 14, 2013. He said this would enable him to concentrate more on front-line politics, taking the view that he was still serving God in another context. Chakwera joined forces with UTM leader Saulos Chilima and multiple other parties to form the TONS Alliance in preparation for the June 2020 Malawi general elections, with Chilima running as vice president. This happened when court ruled out the 2019 general elections due to massive irregularities after DPP claimed victory. Chakwera defeated incumbent President Peter Mutharika in the 2020 election, having obtained almost 59% of the vote. Chakwera was sworn in as the 6th president of Malawi on June 28. On this occasion, Malawi became the first African country to have its presidential election result overturned due to irregularities and an opposition leader go on to win the rerun election. The Republic of Kenya's Supreme Court had been the first to nullify in 2017, but the rerun election therefrom was never won by the opposition leader. Soon after Chakwera's election as president, he became subject to criticism over appointing mutually related family members to cabinet. Chakwera's 31-member cabinet announced after inauguration had 6 members who were relatives with another member of the cabinet. Mo Siddiq Mia, Chakwera's running mate in 2019, was appointed Minister of Transport and Public Works and his wife Abida Mia the Deputy Minister for Lands. Kenny Kandodo and his sister Kumbis Kandodo both occupied ministerial posts, the former being the Minister for Labor while the latter being the Minister for Health. Similarly, Gospel Kazako became Minister of Information while his sister-in-law Agnes Nkusinkoma became the Deputy Minister for Agriculture. More than 70% of the cabinet ministers were from the central region of Malawi, Chakwera's traditional stronghold. Chakwera defended his decisions, saying that he would address concerns related to the appointments. Activists and organizations working on gender equality organized public demonstrations in October 2020 protesting against gender imbalance in public service appointments that Chakwera had made. The activists accused President Chakwera of disregarding the Malawi Gender Equality Act that demands that women should make at least 40% of all public appointments. The activists sued the president over the gender imbalance in his appointments. Trimming executive powers. Chakwera stated that he was working to reduce executive powers to enhance presidential accountability to the people and strengthen the authority of other branches of government. Lazarus Chakwera was elected by member states of SADC as the chairperson of the group. He was the chairman of the SADC, which he assumed from his predecessor, Mozambican President Filipe Nyusi, in August 2021. Chakwera has faced criticism for appointing his daughter and Vice President Saulos Chilema's mother-in-law to diplomatic positions. The president appointed his daughter Violet Chakwera as a diplomatic secretary to Brussels and for the EU. However, the president vehemently rebutted these reports as baseless and stated so on a BBC interview during his visit to the UK in 2021. Published media reports indicate that his daughter is not qualified for the job, having obtained her degree from an unaccredited institution. President Chakwera formed a strong and positive relationship with British Prime Minister Boris Johnson, describing their partnership as crucial. Prime Minister Boris Johnson expressed hope for a long-term UK-Malawi partnership that focused on promoting green technologies in Malawi, and Malawi's government spokesperson and Minister of Information, Gospel Kazako, said that Johnson and President Chakwera would discuss various development, trade, and investment deals, which so far has been a great success and Malawi stands to benefit more and better. After the 2021 Zambian general election, in which Edgar Lungu lost to Hakainde Hichilema and then gracefully accepted the results of the election, President Chakwera said, "The pattern of peaceful transitions of power we have been seeing in our region in recent years, with Zambia being the latest member to embody that, are worthy of global acclaim and our applause." On November 16, 2023, Chakwera announced the immediate suspension of all international travel orders for himself and his government to reduce costs following a 44% devaluation of the Malawian kwacha and an agreement to borrow $174 million from the International Monetary Fund to boost the country's ailing economy. He also ordered the immediate return of all ministers currently abroad and a 50% reduction in fuel allowances for senior government officials. Chakwera also ordered a reduction of income tax on individuals to help ease cost of living issues. Chakwera ran for a second term as president in the 2025 Malawian general election on September 16, but lost to his predecessor, Peter Mutharika, who won more than 60% of the vote. Thank you for watching this video.